I think that this is going to sound crazy no matter how I shake it, so I'm just going to go ahead and start talking. So I just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Emily. I am not a normal YouTube creator. I do weddings on the side. I do a lot of stuff on Instagram. I sell makeup like on Facebook and Instagram. And that's been pretty much the gist of like my content creation as far as social media goes. This video is a little different because I have I just wanted to introduce myself into the community, which I've been kind of like hanging out with for a while in the true crime community. And let me explain this further. So, go back to Gabby Petito. Like, if we're gonna back it up to then, I've always had an interest in true crime. In fact, like high profile, I would get really obsessed with them, and I kind of pushed back from them. This is like from years ago, and I think it has to deal with some trauma that I had, and at a time, like it was during the Virginia Tech shootings, and I was in the hospital during that time, so I was watching a lot of TV. So I had this fascination with like high profile situations, and it just wasn't healthy, so I really backed away from it. For some reason, during the Gabby Petito case, when she was missing, I got sucked back in, and I started going through the I started kind of going like on that YouTube trail where you look up one thing and another thing pops up. Well, I stumbled upon the last fight thing from that Sweetie Pilot. I think it was Sweetie Pilot posted for Reverend Don and Sarah. So I read that and I was like, whoa. And then of course, so then the little thing about, and I didn't click on the Summer Wells thing at first. I kind of went and I was just like, this is crazy. Like listening to her talk. And I was like, this is crazy. So so then I kind of searched around. Well, I ended up going back and listening to the Gabby T thing. And I saw the Summer Wells thing. And I remember being at work. And I remember hearing getting an Amber Alert on my phone. And I remember seeing something about it that was weird. But I never really got the whole story behind it. I remember feeling like I felt like I got to get back to this or something back in the summertime, but I didn't until I came across the reading that Reverend Don and Serafina did for Summer Wells. And like, let me just tell you, like, I'm a freaking believer. And after listening to everything I've listened to, like, it's crazy. But at the same time, I understand, like, that evidence is evidence, and I understand that. But because of this, I started looking more into the Summer Wells, and I started watching some of the videos that were put out. I think that I was listening to the call it was a live that they did together, that Donna, Serafina, and they were talking about Chris from the interview room. So I was like, well, who's Chris from the interview room? So I started watching those videos, and I started kind of piecing this together and just being like, oh my God, like this is crazy. And I became like really, it was just weighing on my mind, and I just kept thinking about it. So then, and I was going through these things or whatever, and then because I had searched Summer Wells, I guess when Ryan Upchurch went live, I have no idea, like, because I don't really pay attention. I didn't even know who Ryan Upchurch was, but I watched his live about Summer Wells, and then I was like, well, this girl Tiffany, like, who's this girl Tiffany that seems to know, like, all this about Summer? She seems like someone that I need to follow to understand what's going on with the Summer Wells case, because on YouTube, you come across so much stuff, and you can't, especially with this case, because there's so much drama going on in this community. It was really hard to kind of, and I didn't realize at the time what I was getting into, but it was right around the time where I just had finished watching the videos when the interview room popped off for a minute, like when that whole thing went down, and that's when I realized like that this is crazy. Anyway, so but yeah, so I was watching Ryan Upchurch's video about Summer Wells, you know, and laughing, but then I was like, he's talking to this person, Tiffany Marie, who seems to really understand what's going on in the Summer Wells case. So then I looked up Tiffany Marie and I saw AB, and I listened to both of them, but Tiffany Marie, because I like the focus that I feel like the things that she's saying and the thing she's focused, first of all, she's keeping she was doing a very good job of keeping the focus on Summer, and then like all this other crazy, these things that have happened between like people like stealing the message, just some crazy things. But anyway, the reason that I decided that I wanted to make this video is kind of just to say, you know, rather than trying to like fight for the attention in chats and being like, hey, and signing up for memberships, and you know, I don't know how the money thing on YouTube works, but I understand that it is a money thing, but I just don't understand really how that works. But it seems like you know, it highlights your name, so it's really hard to kind of come across your opinion and what you're thinking. So I figured that the best way for me to do that and to introduce myself and to kind of say where I was coming from is just to make my own video. So here it is. And I know that a lot of people don't show their faces, but I figured that for this video, especially since I do show my face on the internet because I do like makeup stuff, that I would show my face for this. This is crazy. I'm going to tell you right now, like, I think that this is like what's happening right there. And I don't know, this is my first real experience in the true crime community and you know, watching what's going on. But is this normal for you guys? That's really what I have to ask. I don't think that it is. Because it just seems to me like that this is at this level cannot sustain at this level in which things are going. But watching how things have unfolded, I mean, my first couple weeks, you know, following it, you know, I watched the interview rooms, I watched everything that went down with Jeannie and with Trish, and the phone calls and just the craziness. And I'd heard, you know, Tiffany's name mentioned, and the reason that I keep mentioning you is because I kind of trust that you're in it for the right reasons, and I feel like that the information that I'm going to get from that channel is always going to be straight. And I know that there's some other ones too, but it seems to me like it's hard to figure out who to trust right now in that community. But I think that the gist of it is that I don't think that I'm going to be able to step away from this community until this particular case is resolved. And because I do want to be a part of the community, that when things do, you know, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, well, like, what if she's found, like, I'm not going to have anybody to like celebrate with or like to be so excited with, because, you know, this is something that I've kind of dived into myself. So when you see Say Love I Emily in the chat, however, like, this is not, I don't know that this is something that I'm gonna, you know, would stick with after this, but I do want to be able to make the videos and to say what I think, and people, you know, listen, and to be able to have someone to talk to, you know, when things develop. Because it's like I'm watching people have conversations and jump up on panels and stuff like that, and it's frustrating to me because I'm like, oh yeah, you know, something doesn't look right, and like my name scrolls up and it just, you know, nobody knows who I am. So that's why I'm making this video for the 18th time. So I'm gonna take it straight from the bat. And I know this is probably not the most popular thing to say. Well, I think it's probably a lot of the way that people feel, But you can't say, like, I believe the psychic. I believe the Gatlinburg thing. I believe that the child was sold. And well, I don't know. I did feel like that. But I don't know. I have doubts. I do have doubts too. I also, you know, I feel like that Candace, that they know more. They absolutely 100% know more. My heart, my mind keeps telling me, like, that's because I spent so much time, and that's kind of how I got introduced to the case. I think that that's where my mind wants to go. However, I do understand that there's other possibilities, and that is not like the end all be all, even though if you relate the cases in Utah, like, or whatever, the Idaho cases that she did, like, those were pretty spot on. But what I don't like is I don't like now how I feel like this has become a competition. First of all, I don't like the way that things went down with the money. Well, you know what? I really don't know anything about that, so I'm going to keep my mouth shut about that. But I don't like, and I hope that this is stopped, is I don't like the glimpses. I am grateful for the glimpse that we got into the lives of the Wells family. I don't think that I want to see any more of that, even though that might be an opportunity for something to slip. I don't know. I don't know how I feel on a lot of things. I guess my big point was I just wanted to introduce to myself, and when you see Selah by Emily on the screen, this is me. I appreciate the people that are keeping it real with the Summerall's thing, keeping it real. I don't know. I don't think that we need people to continue to investigate. I really hope that the TBI and everyone's doing their jobs. I'm sure that they are. But yeah, this is some crazy video that I put out. I just kind of wanted to be able to put a face to name, so I'm gonna kind of tag the person, you know, the people that I want to see. I really just wanted Tiffany I wanted to say hi. Like, I'm not a crazy psycho troll person. I'm actually a real person, and that's how I came across, and this is how I found you. So thank you. Bye.